What up, what up, what up? Happy Tuesday. Man, guys, it is a great Tuesday indeed. Well, for you, I hope it's a great Tuesday. What up, dog?
She was licking his arm, and he just went and did a little pet swipe, and then she just has her head, she's just staring like, what was that?
So, we have our dog in the studio. She'll probably chill here for a little bit, and then she'll head off
She'll be like, I'm bored. You guys do this for too long.
Yeah. So what is going on, everyone? I'm Shadell, co-host of Paging the Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely wife,
Lauren.
Man, here we are. So, we're a year into podcasting,
Whoop.
close to 100 episodes.
Whoop.
The weather's feeling better.
Whoop.
We're trying not to get sick by the corona.
That's not a whoop. I was on a roll, and then I'm like, wait. That threw me. Daylight savings time, so it's light longer.
Yeah.
Whoop.
So, guys.
Let's look at the positive.
If you listen to our episode, I think it was the first episode we put out, first or second of this year, talking about investing in our future and our goals for 2020. So we went this weekend and we were looking at houses, and man, oh man. So it kind of reversed on us. We first went to these houses that we weren't sure about because there wasn't any pictures. It was a new construction, and it was a nice price. It fit everything that I liked. It fit what you liked, and we were just like,
we're
we
mad.
had the money.
We're mad right now because we really want to do it right now, but we're a few years away.
Yeah.
And we know that. Just because we're trying to do it the responsible way and have a 20% deposit.
Or at least close to it.
I mean, personally, I would like to have the 20% this time because we did 18% and we had the PMI for 3.5 years.
Yeah,
so
not to get too detailed in our finances, the PMI really didn't do too much.
True, but still, it's kind of annoying to have. Well, you're also paying more interest and stuff, so
you're paying more interest.
It all adds up.
You don't see that change until 15 years.
That's our goal. Is we're trying to do the 20%, and for the houses we're looking at, that takes a little while because we just got finished with the wedding and honeymoon and all that stuff. So
we broke.
We kind of for the whole last year we were focused on paying for the wedding instead of saving. So then we're back in the grind now for that. But yeah, we went looking for places just because whenever there's open houses,
if it's a house we really like,
right, we're just hey, let's get a feel for it. Let's just look. It doesn't hurt. And the real estate agent was really cool too, which is nice because sometimes they're awkward and weird and annoying because they want you to sign up and they want to call you and harass you and everything. But she was cool. And oh my gosh, we just wish we could move in tomorrow, so it stinks. But
yeah, I mean, it what it ended up showing me, and I'm not sure about you, dog. Number one, I feel like a house that I want has to be a new construction house.
Yeah, we kind of got roped
Sorry
into
to feel like a privileged person or anything.
No, because we've seen others, and now it's it's so nice.
Being a homeowner for now 3 years, in what we currently live at, it's we've gone through so many things, and it's this is a certain convenience when you know that when you get into a new house and you don't have to worry about so many things. Yeah, the water heater's gonna be good,
and that's good for 5-6 years. The roof.
Yeah.
All that.
The roof is gonna be set for
25. It's 20 to 25 years, I think.
Something like that. So these things are set. And you have to worry about them. It's like getting a new car, and you're like, "Hey, I'm cool."
It really, for the price range that we've been looking at, I mean, we were surprised at the price it was. That it wasn't on the highest end of what we've looked at, versus we've found houses that have already been owned that are at the higher point. And I don't know, it was just surprising what you get in the amount of bedrooms and the size and the area and everything.
Well, yeah, and then we went to go see in a house that we both liked, thought would be good. We went to see it after seeing these nice houses.
I really thought I'd love this house.
What was the price? It was $350, something like that.
I didn't know we were talking prices.
Whatever, sure, $350. We're poor. Something reasonable.
I didn't know we were talking prices.
Okay, cool. Well, she wants to keep that away. but I already spilled the beans. So $350 for that house.
Or we could just, edit this out.
No,
like,
$350 for the house we're looking at.
Yeah.
So we went to go see this one, and this house, I was telling Lauren in the car, I'm like, it fit a theme in my head, where this person likes like some type of like beach island type of vibe, and you could tell it was probably some older couple that lived here. And they like had like the bottom floor was like the in-law like area. And that's cool for some people. Like that may work out for someone. Maybe it's like a family and they have like, older kids and like, yo, you guys stay downstairs. I'll keep the older
apartment.
place.
Yeah.
But it was just, there's a lot happening. And like, it wasn't all what, it didn't live up to our hype and expectations. So yeah. So we're just narrowing down, even though it's going to be like 2-3 years before we have the money to put down on a house that we actually like. We're like narrowing down what we actually want, because if we didn't go today, hey, we wouldn't know that this is what we can get.
Well, yeah.
Because I wouldn't know. And
yeah.
So I later went on to look at other towns, and I'm like, oh, they're like priced similarly at these other towns.
To the, yeah.
I'm like, wow. Because I want that modern look.
Mm-hmm.
But
so yeah, we're kind of like, yay, but then we're like,
yeah, it's like
it really stinks, because you're like, well, realistically, this isn't going to be here when we can do it.
Yeah, and it's just hoping that like when we are ready that
something similar pops up.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just like me, and when I go to the Tesla website at least once a week, and I'm just like customizing my Tesla, hoping one day I'd be able to hit buy. But
you know what I just realized too? Us saying a price on here, it's kind of...
Oh yeah, it depends on your area.
Yeah, so I guess if you don't live in Connecticut, it doesn't really mean anything, because like for what you can get down south for that is so much more than you can get in Connecticut, and then like California you get even less. So like
that sounds like a horrible house.
Right. So I guess it's not really you don't really understand, I guess. Yeah.
Or relative bits on the area.
But yeah.
But man, that was eye-opening and great and all that. Mm-hmm. So I just want to share that information because I'm kind of excited.
But yeah, we just want to like look at we want to take our time and really know what we're getting, because the next place we're getting is our forever place.
Yeah,
we're not trying to move again. We're trying to have room to expand and have a family and have options and
exactly.
Not really sacrifice as much as we have here and like things like that. So
yeah, having the space for the kids and like where everything's gonna be and like just having a vision of what that future house is going to look like is what we have in our minds. And so far, like, I gotta say, we fit in like what we're looking for. So
I know we're very similar.
So cool.
Yeah.
Like we like the same color schemes and everything. I'm like, okay.
Which is really funny because we're opposite in a lot of ways, but apparently we're very similar in when it comes to what we want in a house.
Damn right.
It's weird.
Damn right, sis. All right. Now let's get to the business that is at play here. So I want to talk about Meg The Stallion. Currently, she's going through her own like label legal battles and stuff, and I don't really want to get into the nitty gritty of that.
They all?
If you really care, you can look it up or look at some other podcasts that are talking about the details. Sorry to make your water shake.
Oh, it didn't spill. We're good.
But I want to talk about more on the side of bad contracts that like artists are signing, and we talked about this with Taylor Swift. Back last year, like late last year, something like that. Mm-hmm. And it's a common thing. And it's not just, I feel like in the music industry, more so rap, it's more common to express your displeasure with this. But bad contracts happen like everywhere. Mm-hmm. Like, so I kind of want to talk about this. You probably gonna have more information on this than I would. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I've signed into some bad contract, or one bad contract in my life at the time.
What?
So, okay, back when YouTube was a popping thing to like make money off and all that stuff, I was growing and I signed to what do you call those things? A market. What was it?
Oh,
it's like a third party.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like a partnership
instead of Google AdSense.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I signed with that, and I looked through the contract and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can see what it is, and I saw like at least my loophole, which they also had one, which is like if they didn't like your content, they can like cut it off. But also in the sense of like if I, what was it? It was something like if I didn't upload a video or something like that. If I was inactive for some period, like I'd be able to like the contract becomes like null and void.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, cool. That's my loophole. Because if I don't like you guys, well, looks like I'm gonna go MIA for a bit. But
I see why they do that though, because if you're actually doing really well, but say you don't like the company, you're not gonna stop making content because you're making money.
Yeah.
So like I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So like I signed that, and like I didn't have a lawyer review. I was probably like in my 20s, 19ish, something like that.
Well, yeah.
And I was gonna have it. It wasn't. I wasn't making anything on YouTube. It was just the starting point, and then after that, I kind of fell off from it. But like that was a not the greatest agreement to sign at my young age. Do you have any instances of that?
I did the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For my YouTube, it was like a beauty community type of whatever is that called. I can't remember what it's called. I know what you're talking about. The name for it.
It's a partnership.
But yeah, I did that, and I don't think I had any real problems. I just don't think it didn't work. Like it doesn't help me. Like they didn't
support you.
Yeah, and it just didn't. I thought like, oh, this would help me grow and make more money and stuff, and it just didn't. If anything, I think it took more. So it didn't make sense, and so I don't think I got out of it, but I think I just let it expire, and then I just went back to AdSense.
Do you remember how much their cut was?
No, this was oh god, this had to be the early 2010s.
So I think similar to Meg, I believe mine was. So Meg signed a contract with this company called 1501. At the time, she wasn't, some like the person she is now. And it was like a 60-40 split. But the thing with Meg's was, like, the label takes 60% of whatever she's making, but Meg has to pay for, everything else. The band, the features, like all that stuff, like is coming out of her pocket.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So that's like she's going through figuring that out, and I guess supposedly from everyone going back and forth into this, that's a good contract in like the music world, and I'm like, okay, that's a problem.
Wow.
And I feel like that's what I got when I partnered with the YouTube partnership was 60-40, and I was like, cool, because I'm not making anything, but I see how they get it, because if they promise you, like, hey, we're going to help you out with this, we're going to get you connections, we're going to work with you, this and that, I got no help in that duration.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm like, 60-40, sure, because I'm a nobody.
Right.
But you don't realize that if you keep doing what you're doing, you're bound to become a somebody, and, look, they're going to be making money off you. And it's like, what can you do when you're like, oh, I want to negotiate my contract? You end up in the situation that Meg's in. And it's like, nah. You signed this agreement. We can't do that. And then if you want to stop it, you're going to stop and lose that money because you go dead on YouTube. Good luck.
Exactly.
So you had a bag. Anything else? Any other agreements or something that someone went to like have you sign that you're like, hold up, this seems a bit suspect?
I don't think so. I don't think I've been on that side. I mean, yeah.
Tell me now. I want to say now because I feel like currently you're educated.
Yeah.
But in your early stages of building your makeup brand and business and everything, if someone gave you a contract and they were like, yo, I can help you with advertising and getting your name out there in your local area, and bringing a lot of business to you, you just have to sign this agreement and, you share some of the profit with me. Would you be up for that? If it seemed like it was beneficial for you?
I don't really know what they would do or like...
They would advertise and put you like...
I don't know. I mean, I've freelanced for another company and they've taken a percentage because they give me the work, essentially. I've done that kind of thing.
Yeah, but this is different. This is them saying, we're going to advertise to get your name out there. And the people that you bring in, we want a cut of that.
I don't know about that.
Would you? Not at this time, but like I feel like as a young kid,
trying
to get up.
Maybe I would have. I don't know. Like,
because I'm trying to like understand this because essentially Meg signed this contract, and she was like 20 something.
Right. I mean, yeah.
And we don't really know much.
At the point, right, when you just want to do stuff with it, you just want to, like, do what you're loving and stuff. Like, I get that. It's interesting because this, on the professional side, this is why I've made my contracts tighter, just because a few years ago I was using contracts that you just get, like, from the internet, and they're not legit because you don't really know what they say. Like, they're not to your business specifically and stuff. So I went through a small business attorney and I redid everything a couple years ago. And yeah, she was basically saying how, like, the way the verbiage was and, like, all this stuff, like, I wouldn't have been protected, like, if someone wanted to take me to small claims or sue me or anything. But I will say in my contracts, I'm very fair, though, like, where it's all laid out. It makes sense. It's not like I'm not trying to take advantage of people. I'm just trying to, like, lay it out and be like, hey, if this happens, then this happens. Like, if, you know, and so, yeah. So I get both sides. I get where you have to also be smart in a business sense and be protected. But I don't agree with, you know, if you're going to be skeevy and try to pull one over because, you know, it's 50 pages long and because it has all these big words and, you know, you're 19, the person signing, like that stuff.
Yeah, but it's tough because the issue is I'm not sure if it was necessarily trying to be, you know, skeevy
I don't know.
or whatever.
It sounds like they kind of are, though.
It's like the industry standard is what a lot of these contracts are.
But the industry standard does sound like it is skeevy. Like,
I don't disagree.
Which I think stinks. Because there is a different way to do it. Like, you can just be blunt and protective and you know, say what you got to say, but you can do it in a way that isn't like you're trying to pull one over because it sounds like the music business, they know exactly that you're going to come back in like 5-10 years and you're going to, you know, want this or demand this or ask for this. And it's like they know that you're going to do that. So they put it in there to protect themselves against that.
It happens like clockwork.
Like that is a problem. It doesn't make sense that just sounds like you're taking advantage of me.
Yeah.
See that, and you're stunting my growth and stuff like that. That's like, different.
I recently learned, I'm like listening to the Joe Biden podcast. I learned so many things. So getting into like people's publishing, where it's like, yo, if you don't own your music and like the label owns your music or whoever owns your music, and it's just like
Taylor Swift.
Damn, it's
JoJo.
It's a dirty world out there.
Yep.
When it comes to if you don't own your masters, and it's like you gotta buy that back. And here's one thing that I thought was interesting listening to the Joe Biden podcast that I learned. And that you could probably apply it to any business, you know, which is if you're here for a short time, you're probably going to sign to a label. Because they can automatically, they have the funding, they have connections, they have all that stuff. So you're like, yo, I just want to, you know, become famous and rich and all that stuff. Sure, the label's going to get you there, but it comes with the price. Mm-hmm. If you're here for the long term and you're like you want your career to ride out and you're trying to make something of yourself, you go independent.
That makes sense.
And I could think about that for like a range of different people. Like, man, who can I think that like Young M.A., she's independent. A lot of these people like not sell, but like they'll have contracts as far as like getting their stuff out there more, but not necessarily being like they have a creative holds on you or like you're kind of reliant on them or they take some bit of your publishing or something. And it's like, yeah, like I feel like in this day and age, no matter what business you're in, you shouldn't sign an agreement just because, oh man, I can get, you know, this many clients because of this advertising. Because you get like calls from Yelp or calls from like you had like Wedding Wire and stuff like that. And it's like, yo, we can bring so much traffic by you being on the front page.
All the people. I will get the most random magazine calls too, of like literally I think one was like a golf course or something, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
Like, what?
You don't want to advertise to old men?
Oh my gosh. I'm like, no. Sorry, that's not my demographic.
Yeah. And I get it if you're a kid and you don't get what you're signing, but...
And, like, given marketing and advertising and stuff, that's always important in some capacity. But it's the whole, it's like, do you want to essentially, like, sell part of it to get something versus like if I'm just investing in like marketing on, a billboard or in Facebook ads or whatever it is. That's different than like if I'm basically selling a portion of what I make all the time to a person or to a thing,
to a company,
for something. Well, and you don't even know, like, given you never know how marketing's going to go, but I don't know.
It goes with, like so you were briefly in and out of the interview I was watching with the girl from Honey Pot, that got her stuff into Target, which is dope.
Yeah.
And she was saying, like, don't ask for money, don't meet with companies, all that stuff. Like, make something and make sure that product is the best and keep perfecting it, and then like go out and hustle and kind of like build your name for it, of the product and everything. And I'm like, I dig that. Like, everyone wants to be quick and be like, oh, I got this great product, let me go to Whole Foods, let me go to Target, let me go to all these places.
That's actually, that's a really good point. So like for me, some of my steps have been slow going, or some of my decisions or whatever, but everything has been strategic, and it's for a reason, because I in my business have never been in debt. Like, I've never had to take out a loan. Like, I have a credit card for like recurring payments and all this stuff, but it's always paid off every month. Like what?
Hold up, don't brush over that. Can you repeat that again for everyone that didn't catch what you just said?
Which part?
Repeat everything you just said. I don't have any debt. Repeat
I don't
that.
have any debt in my business.
You don't have any, it's zero debt. Never had any debt.
No. I've never been in debt in my business. I've never had a loan from somebody or a bank or anybody. I've never been over with my credit cards, not been able to pay, all this stuff. Everything I have done has been very strategic and very calculated, and I keep a very close eye on my finances, and I learn them inside and out and all this different stuff, because it's not worth it. It's not worth to be indebted to somebody else for something for your business. Like for me, and I've said this before, I couldn't imagine personally having a partner, at least at this point. I can't imagine having like a 50-50 split with somebody, just because I like that I have the ability to call all the shots within my business and transform it how I want and evolve with it, and like everything, whether it's how a place looks, whether it's what's in my kit, whether it's, the clientele I advertise to, whatever. So for me, it's like, yeah, if you're indebted to somebody, you're kind of taking away some of your power within your business. And so that's always been a huge deal for me. And like, granted, I get it. Say like down the road, I feel like if I want to get like a full-blown salon space or something, I may have to get like a loan of some sort for like a mortgage or something maybe. So I get that. But I've never had to take something out even to get like equipment or something. Like whatever I've gotten, whatever physical things I've paid for, anything, I've always like saved up, and I've always been strategic about like, I'm not going to jump on this. There's something that I've been years in the making of, because it just never was the right time. Like, you just have to play it right. Yeah. And like, it stinks because you want to be impatient at times, but it's like, you got to be smart. Yeah. Because I feel like that's a common thing where people are like, I got a business idea, but I got to go into debt for this. I got to get a loan. Right, they jump. They're just like, I need $100,000 just to start this. And it's like, no, you don't. Yeah. There's a lot of things you can start with $1,000, $5,000, and you can get so far. You just have to be strategic and start it with that lump, and then start getting the clients and focus on that, and focus on being a good service or product or whatever it is, and then reinvest it. There's so many. That's the thing too. And I'm lucky because at the time that I was reinvesting into my business, 100% was when I also had other jobs. So like, you also have to be strategic again, and you have to be, hardworking and willing, because there was a point where for years, everything I would make in the business would go right back to the business. 100%. I wasn't seeing a penny to me, not having fun with any of it. It was just going, it was a cycle. But it had to be so that I could get to the point where I bought all the best products or the best, station or whatever the heck I needed. And then I was able to, slowly like get rid of this job and go from full-time to part-time this and then completely this. And then now, I can pay myself this. And now I can give myself a raise here and yada. It's business is one of those things. If you're going to go into it, be patient, because sure, there's some of these people that blow up overnight, but that's not the norm. On average, it takes a good 3 to 5 years of doing it full time to really see something great happen. That's the average. Is when you start to see all of a sudden that weird, and it's crazy. I can't explain it, but it is real, where you start to see all of a sudden you're like, whoa, this is happening. Something's happening. It's, and it's funny because you feel like you're oh, this is out of nowhere, but it's not if you've worked on it for years. So that's my biggest takeaways. I'm not typically a patient person, but you have to be with this stuff. So
I'm with you.
Yeah. But I love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
And you have some big news coming up, but we'll
I do, but that's...
We'll save that for when you're actually ready to share that.
I alluded to that with the years in the making, so...
Yeah. So we got some big news coming up. Well, you got big news coming up.
Yay!
So we'll share that at a later time.
A couple things, not even just one.
Yeah. So we'll share that at a later time. I just wanted to jump into that topic because bad contracts happen all the time, and find a lawyer that understands the business that you're in, that can break it down, even if you throw this lawyer 100, 200, 1,000, whatever, for them to run through this contract. It could save you a lot of money in the future. That I think Meg was she could have gotten $1 million, but she only got 1,500 or something. 15,000. My bad.
Oh no, but that's still awful.
So she's suing
not
for
even 100. 100,000 is only 10% of $1 million. Can you picture that?
I don't know the details on it,
15,000. That's pennies.
It's.
Oh my god.
You can save a lot of money by you understanding your contract and being yo, let's change this because I don't like the verbiage here.
Right, and again, that's kind of your upfront investment. That's
exactly.
You take from your savings or whatever you do. I will say also, as far as the contract thing, I had, as a bride too, because I do a lot of weddings, but also as a bride, because see, I'm not looking to take advantage of people. So I tell them, I'm look through everything. Let me know if you have any questions, that whole thing. And I occasionally, most people are just, they don't want to read, so they just sign it. But I occasionally have brides who actually go through, they read the entire thing. And there's, and I had this one bride a few weeks ago, and she asked me, because I have this clause in there that essentially says, again, I don't know the verbiage, but it basically says, how everyone will act in a good manner, demeanor, that kind of thing, and what it means is if I felt like I was verbally abused, or if things were going very south and I felt uncomfortable or unsafe in a situation, that I could literally stop my job and leave, and you don't get a refund, because this has happened to several people I know. It thankfully has not happened to me, knock on wood, but it actually is a real thing in this industry. And there are people that will get very badly verbally abused, and we don't deserve that. We're not doing anything to deserve that. So it's one of those where, you've already paid because I'm already here doing the job, and it's, it's a done deal. But if things go too far, I can leave. Yeah. That's basically what it says. And so again, it's protecting me, but I'll tell you that outright. If you ask me, what does this mean? That's the thing. Every clause in my contract, I made sure I understood what it meant so that I can explain it to people.
Exactly.
I'm not afraid. I'm not trying to hide something. So she thought it was funny because she's she read it, and the way it's worded, she's like, oh, that's weird. She's like, that's really happened? And I'm like, no, thankfully not to me. But it's there if that 1 in a million case does happen.
Yeah.
Because
that's extreme.
Yeah.
You should yeah, that's extreme. I could never envision me hiring the DJ or someone being no, you're trash, this and that. I'm sure it happens, but
or
that's extreme.
For example, picture you have too many mimosas. getting ready. Maybe you're drunk and you're like acting in a really inappropriate way towards me. Like that's, another example of it. Like, okay, this is going too far.
Yeah.
You're not listening. You're not stopping. You're not taking my cues. Like, we're done here. So, yeah.
I'm with it. All right. So, off Meg, let's talk about old Post Malone. So, I want to talk about Post Malone. And I want to talk about him at the beginning of this week. But then a story came out, which we'll talk about in a bit, about like him and his like weird drug behavior. So Post Malone says he got face tattoos because he's ugly, is what he said. I wish I could play this video from Hip Hop DX for you guys, but I'm just gonna play this here for you real quick. Like this guy, he did an interview.
Not very loud.
Well, okay, I'm not trying.
Can't really.
I'm not trying to go through Hip Hop DX with this, but it's on Hip Hop DX. Post Malone says he gets his face tattoos because he's ugly, and dog, I'm gonna show you a picture of Post Malone without tattoos as soon as my thing wants to like work. And I want to know why, bro. God damn. It's not working.
He'll look like a newborn baby.
Okay, never mind. Wait, hold up.
Oh.
Yeah. Like...
Oh, stop it. He looked cute in his... He looks like...
That's that picture, yeah.
When he was that age, he was probably in high school or something. He almost looked like the brother of the kid with the lisp from Stranger Things.
Dog.
What's his name? Oh, I know his name. But
I feel like arguably right now Post Malone looks a bit weird with his tattoos on his face.
Well, yeah. So I'm gonna say I may be biased, but I don't like face tattoos at all. Like I don't. I don't think they look good on pretty much anybody. But yeah. So I'll always think that. But I'll always think anybody looks better without them.
I tried to talk about that.
But yeah.
I just had to talk about that because that's weird.
That's sad though that he thinks he's ugly and he has to like cover in it.
Right. So Post Malone's behavior at concerts has been a bit like weird.
I know, I've seen
and
that.
I saw like some things, and it was a video of him like talking to the fans in a concert saying, he feels better than ever and this and that. And then I see some other clips like this one
I know.
that you guys can find.
I know. I honestly think it's a cover up. I think him saying, "Oh, I'm fine." See, no, people think he's drinking or on drugs, and
dog, what is?
I know. And then some people have tried to defend him and say, "Oh, that's his stage persona."
Oh God, he just slammed a guitar.
I know. People are like, "That's his stage persona." Blah blah blah. But then other people are like, no, I saw him a couple years ago. He was not this bad. This is extreme. And yeah, people are saying they're like,
because he seems drunk. Come on now.
Or on
That's
drugs.
A drunk face.
Or drugs.
Sure.
Like,
but nonetheless, he's under the influence of something.
And it just, people are saying how, this is when you need to take concern with people, is when they're showing you this, because this is how all those ODs happen. People are comparing him to Amy Winehouse.
It's bringing chills down my spine too, because it's like, I don't want another death. Like, this year has already been bad with Pop and Kobe. Like, I'm not in the mood for another death.
Because he's another one that kind of shot to fame out of nowhere.
Yeah, after his song White Iverson back, 2016, 2017, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's been quick. So
he kind
of. A lot of people kind of go off the deep end when that happens.
And like, he doesn't do a lot of interviews, so it's hard to like really know what his vibe is.
I don't think that's normal though. All the stumbling, like, because you can tell like when somebody's acting, like, and they're putting on a show, like for a concert, and they got moves and certain like. Whatever, say it's like a dramatic song and they're like, crawling on the floor or something. But like, this looks like legit, like he was straight up like wobbling his hand. I know, like I can't get my balance, kind of stumble. Like
his eyes were closed. Like he had something.
He'll like roll his eyes. Like, yeah, it's weird.
And it's like we had Pop pass away a couple weeks ago, we had Kobe pass away, and it's just like I'm tired of like celebrities dying that we like. Like, can we chill? That'd be great. Let's end 2020 without any celebrity deaths.
That's not gonna happen.
Not that Pop Smoke's not Pop Smoke. God, Post Malone's death will like super affect me like Pop Smoke because I don't have that connection with them as a listener. But like, it's to have a lot of people that like ride for you and like listen to your music and rock with you, and I'm sure his concerts get sold out no matter what. You're affecting so many other people. And it's like, come on. Like, you would think people in your circle are like, yo, what's going on? Like, let's talk.
Well, because I just saw something recently, if we're on this bandwagon, from Demi Lovato about how her previous team was, like, the opposite of supportive and kind of aided in her overdose a couple years back. And I think what was it? It was she was talking about like something with food or like, because she's always had an issue with like body image and things like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. She said she would get like some Starbucks drink or something, and her team would like say something about it, and like there would be these little things that added up, and that ultimately would make her kind of go backwards because of how it made her feel. And so it's like, in one breath, sure, you hope your team is supportive and helpful and wants the best for you, but at the same time, you never know. You never know when it comes to people close to you. Yeah. And you never know who's just trying to either take advantage of you or trying to use you to climb the ladder or trying to, abuse you and maybe sell a story or something. Like,
that's true.
It's tricky.
There was some celebrity, I can't think of who it was, that like they were trying, like the people around them were like really just using them for him or her for money. And that's probably a common thing. I feel like that's what happened with Pop, where people set him up, because I don't get how one person can die in a room where 4 other people had guns and like.
I'm telling you. So it's like, yeah, you hope, but I don't think so.
I don't know.
Because, that made no sense for her, because she was on such, like, a good path, and then when she overdosed, it was like, what happened? And then now you heard, like, that Anyone song come out, and you're just like, damn, like, she was in a place where, even her team was not on her side. And she said in the interview, she's like, I expressed that I needed help. I asked for help, and I was just not getting it. I was just getting belittled, and I was like, right. So you get to the place where you're like, well, I tried. I did what everybody told me to do. And so, screw it.
Yeah.
So I get it. Like, that's tough.
I don't know. It really sucks when you see, like, a celebrity, like, on a decline like that.
I love her. I'm a huge Demi fan. No, but really, she is one of those people that I always want the best for her. I want her to, like, truly, like, get to a place where she's succeeding and she's not around these terrible people and she's not on doing the drugs and everything. Like, I feel like she really could, like, she just has to get to that point, and I think maybe she finally is. But it's sad when, like, she was finally climbing, and then it just oh gosh, it really stinks to be around shitty people.
I'm with you.
It's annoying. It's annoying. So
oh, man.
But
I just hope the best for Pop. God, I keep saying Pop Smoke.
Post Malone.
I hope the best for Post Malone. It sucks to, like, it's like seeing Demi or seeing Taylor Swift like, on stage, like going like wild out. It's like, guys, I know I can't talk to you, but I just hope that you hear my words somehow and feel.
Literally, Demi said like there were times like she was high when she was filming Camp Rock.
I don't know what
way
that
back
is.
then. That movie on Disney Channel with the Jonas Brothers. Holy crap, you don't know what Camp...
Dog, why would I watch this? I wasn't a Disney kid. I'm saying they're watching Nickelodeon Cartoon Network.
Anyways, my point is she was like a teenager at that point. Like, it was bad. Like,
damn, Jonas Brothers giving her a little bit of weed? Like, here you go, Demi.
Okay, that's not funny at all. That's exactly what feeds into
Miley, you want some of this?
Babe, that's not funny at all.
Yo, Zach Cody, come here.
You're a terrible human. You're exactly who would send her over the edge, so thanks.
Drake, Josh, come on.
That's Nickelodeon.
Leave the little weird girl over there.
That's
We don't want.
Nickelodeon.
I know they're inviting everyone except for the little weird
Carly.
girl. No, Miranda Cosgrove. Leave the little weird girl over there. We just
Carly, yeah, that was
want- no, what?
her name on the show.
I don't know her name on the show, but yeah.
Anyways,
Leave her over there.
Or no, Megan. She was Megan on that show, and then she was Carly on I Got Carly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anywho, you know what I hate with the Demi thing is when everyone, like, the keyboard warriors can just never quit, and they always have to, like, put on some, like, even if it's a positive post of hers, they always just have to put, like, crazy heroin addict. Nothing but a heroin addict. You'll always be the same heroin addict. And I'm like, that's not helpful.
It's not a keyboard warrior. That's a troll.
But that's what I mean. The people behind the keyboards who do, you know,
Yeah,
they can't say
trolls.
that to your face, but like, why am I say what's a keyboard warrior then? I thought,
That's more so someone that like fights for like a cause.
oh my bad. Okay.
Unless they're fighting for the cause of
Never
keeping
mind.
Demi down. I mean,
No, seriously, that's all. I'm like, these people need lives.
their lives are being unhappy and making other people
That's
unhappy.
terrible. I swear, someone tries their best and no.
So speaking of people that are trying to try their best, I want to talk about Mike Tyson. Everyone's talking about, babe, this is not a good idea.
Sorry. The dog is like going a little
I'll just put
crazy.
her down because I'm not picking her up with her trying to mess up a wire.
Oh no. Thank you.
So I want to talk about Mike Tyson because he feels empty without boxing. Now, I'm sure you know Mike Tyson, right?
Yep.
Good. I'm surprised.
How are you surprised?
So he went
It's
on
Mike Tyson.
he went on a podcast and he was talking. Like, this guy, when I play this audio for you, and you'll see some of the video, but the video is kind of sped up, so it doesn't matter. But like, hear it in his voice that like he's so like, I don't know, it's like sad, depressed, like just like he feels lost because he can't do what he loved to do.
I feel that.
Oh, you're not going to feel this because everyone's looking at this as a different type of way, and I'm going to take a spin at it in a different way.
Oh, well,
So-
I felt it what you just said.
So I'm going to play the clip, and we'll
right.
go from there.
Crap, I don't know if that's going to make me look bad.
Napoleon, I know them all. I read them all. I studied them all. I know the art of fight. I know the art of war. That's all I ever studied. That's why I'm so feared. That's why they feared me when I was in the ring. Because I was an annihilator. That's all I was born for. And now those days are gone. It's empty. I'm nothing. I'm working on being the art of humbleness. Can you believe in me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. Because sometimes I feel like a bitch. Because I don't want that person to come out, because if he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just I hate that guy. I'm scared of him.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad then.
Yeah. So everyone, here's my thing. There's two things with this. It's super sad that like he doesn't have a purpose or feels like he doesn't have a purpose because he was made to fight. But my next part is, it's what he wants to do is really toxic.
Yep.
Because he's talking about, like, Mike Tyson was brutal in the ring. Like, he
Right.
wants to straight up kill people. Or yeah.
I don't know. It may be an unpopular opinion, but I also get it, though, because that's what you know. Like, that's your life, and that's what you're used to.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been taught differently or you haven't, like, changed anything or whatever, like, yeah, it feels unnatural to do something the opposite of what you've always known and what you're comfortable with and used to. And so, like, I get it. As toxic as it is, sometimes people are used to toxic.
Well, that's what the issue is.
It feels weird to do something anti-toxic.
But that's his issue. He's trying to figure out. He's trying to be humble and be like, I'm assuming he'd probably be back in the days. He'll probably be that guy if you bumped him. Like, it would be give him a reason to want to fight you.
Right.
And now as he's getting older, he's like, I can't do that. Like, that's not how you should operate. And it's a struggle for him. What, did the dog just have something?
I don't know. She looked like she was happily chewing as she ran in.
Pizza on the floor, guys.
She's like, hey guys, nothing to see here. No, yeah. I get that because it's very hard to break a toxic pattern. It's possible, but it's a lot of hard work, and it is, and it's weird when it feels normal to be that way and
Dog,
to do something better.
For him, his passion is to hurt people. Like, tell me how twist that is. Like, I get the point of, like, yeah, it sucks, like, you can't live out your passion, but if you really get into the nitty gritty of it, your passion is to hurt people. Like, there's something that's mentally, like, wrong with that I just feel like no one's really talking about. And
yeah, he's got to work on some stuff, I think. It's sad. It's a sad situation.
And I was looking up his childhood. I took a screenshot. It's on my phone, but I can't get it now. And I feel like his situation, he lived in New York. I think he only had his mom to rely on. His dad left him when he was like 2 or 3. And like, I can only imagine, back in the days, New York, this guy had to survive. Like, he's out there, like, all I can think about is all the music I hear from New York and like the back in the days, how New York was just gritty and just dog eat dog. It was for people, more so black people, like depending on your area. And like, yeah, I can see where like Mike Tyson's like, shoot, I don't have my dad around. I just got my mom. Like, I gotta help out. I gotta figure out some way to pay bills. I had to learn how to fight. Became really good at it. Became real good at hurting people because they tried hurting me, and this is what led me to where I am now. And like, it just, it sucks. I feel real bad for the guy that like you can't find happiness after your career. But I just hope you find happiness because it's like, dog, you can't be. I think he's like 50, 60 years old. You can't be like that old, being like, man, I just really want to fight someone. Like, that's not.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'd give up hope of him being able to change. Anyone can change if they put in the work and they really want to.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure it sucks. Like, if that was like my dad or my friend or something, dog, I would help him some way. I'm like, what can we do that would like get you back the energy? Like, do we need to get like, punching bags or something? Like, I don't know, like something to like ease it. Like, you're not gonna. There's nothing that's gonna get better than me like punching someone and you react and be like, ow, and like, all that the feeling and stuff that comes from it. But like, what's something that's somewhat like acceptable, I guess, or something? I don't know. I try to talk about that because I wasn't seeing anyone talk about the negatives of what he's talking about as much as it's sad and painful to see like this man go through it. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
You were just like, I feel you, Mike.
I mean, no, like now it sounds bad, but that's not what I meant. I meant, yeah, I'd be sad if I couldn't do my passion too. Like, I get that, but
Get your anger out there, Mike.
no, that's not what I was talking about. That's not. No, we have different passions. That's no.
Beat up the next elderly person you see. Someone that's your age. Just playing. All right, so I want to end this bad boy off with some relationship advice here. This is a common one. Something that we work towards, and I'm not sure if I want to get into all of this, and more so just tackle the question at hand.
Okay.
So this person's question is no yelling ever an unreasonable boundary in a relationship? And I'll get into this paragraph that this person said, saying that they grew up being yelled at a lot. Some garden variety yelling. I don't know what that means. Some backed against the wall with a very large man an inch away from my face, screaming at me and threatening to physically harm me, yelling. I spent a lot of my childhood walking on eggshells and a lot of my early teenage years losing my shit, screaming right back with predictable explosive results. I am 25 now, and I just can't handle yelling. I'm not trying to police anybody who's raising their voice slightly in frustration, but any kind of actual shouting just makes me completely shut down. I panic and start crying. My heart's going a million miles an hour. and I'm angry and want to shout back, but I also want to say whatever will make them stop shouting, but I can't say anything because it's too hard to breathe. And then they go on with, they broke up with their ex-boyfriend. They were in a 1-year relationship 2 weeks ago. Pretty much that he was controlling and manipulative, that he, trying to dictate how he's allowed to express his emotions when he's upset. And when we broke up, she tried to walk away when he started yelling at her during an argument, and he followed her down the street telling her that she was acting like a child. She was crying, asking him to leave her alone. Some people intervened because they obviously thought we were in some kind of abusive relationship scenario. It was a whole thing. He says that the man can't help yelling in the same way. Oh, that men can't help yelling in the same way. Hold up, buddy. Don't speak for all of us. I can't help crying, but I am. Can't you just stop talking? Can't you just stop talking if it's coming out as shouting? Thoughts, opinions, viewpoints.
Yeah, obviously we struggled with this. It's kind of interesting because you and I have similar but different situations where, like, we both had parents that yelling was a common thing. Mm-hmm. And you and I kind of went different ways where...
Oh, I talk low.
Yeah, you're more of the, you're going to shut it down, you're not going to listen, you're going to...
Yeah, I'm not in the mood.
Yeah, like, this isn't going to be a thing, whereas I'm the one who will feed more into it, and that was my natural response because of what I was used to. I understand the part where she's saying, like, you had to yell to survive and be heard and try and get your point across and whatever it was. And so... I think that's, we just kind of reacted in different ways, and it has led to interesting arguments and discussions and things like that. What's funny, though, is I think, and I don't know if it's in being with me, you kind of took on a little bit more of the yelling as the years went by. Slowly. Like, you kind of introduced it more to where you would then lose your cool a little bit quicker than you used to, or like...
Yeah, but there's a reason for that. I'll explain it on the podcast. Hopefully that you will listen, because this is still something you will struggle with.
Of course there is.
I'm someone that normally talks low. If you talk to me, I'm talking with a low voice. Normally people have to go like we went out earlier, and this lady had like inch in a little bit more, because I just talk low. I'm just a low talker, because it's a trauma. Don't judge me. So after me saying something to someone, mainly like someone that I'm comfortable with, like you, or a friend or something like that, which normally doesn't happen. If I'm explaining something to you, and then like I'll say it once, normal. Say it again, normal. And then third time, if I don't feel like you're listening or paying attention or whatever, it's escalating, because I'm not in the mood. Like I told you what it is. Like, I'm same way that it's gonna happen with kids, where it's like I'm gonna keep my cool until it's not cool to keep my cool, and then it's happening. Like, I keep things neutral. Like, and how I handle my life now, what happens is, in like my work life and like just various things in group settings, people that know me, they're like, oh, whenever Shadell talks, like, we have to listen. Because that's now what's happening, because since he's a quiet speaker, everyone's like, oh, gotta pay attention to what Shadell's gonna say.
It's so annoying. I'll say what, like 3 times, because like he's quiet, and then he won't repeat the part that I didn't hear. He'll repeat the other part I did hear, and it's like this whole thing. Oh gosh.
But yeah, I like
even your mom. She's like, "What?"
Oh man, I hate
what?
That. I hate when I'm talking on my phone. She's like, "What? What'd you say? Shadell, what did you say? What?"
She'll like cut you off mid sentence, and be like, "What?
I'm like,
what was that?"
I'm like, it's either your phone, because it can't be me.
No, it's you.
It's not.
It is.
Well, that's my reasoning of it.
If even your mom can't catch it, come on.
Okay. I'm like, you're listening too slow, Mom.
And that's his response.
But I'll say, yeah, it's changed, but also one thing I hope that we like work on over time, and it's lessened in a sense. I would say, even though you like to nitpick about the smallest things.
Oh,
Like,
well, yep. Let's just take a dig at me. Cool, thanks.
Like I'm trying to get us to the point where it's like we're not complaining about the simplest like things that like don't matter.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of that complaining about like things that I'm just like it's not that big of a deal. Like there's so many things that aren't that big of a deal for us to sit there and yell at each other about, and hopefully one day, as we're going to this old age, that we can like have a conversation about things.
Okay, but I don't think you give us enough credit. We really don't yell that much nowadays.
Oh no, we don't.
Like
We don't. Like I said, back in the days,
it's more discussion style. It's more. Yeah, sure, we'll get annoyed or something, but it's not like
because I'm not having it. I don't do
we're
that.
not. It's how. Excuse me. Hold on. Just like you could call me out for the nitpicking and all that. Why don't you also talk about how? Because I've also been better at that. Not just like, oh, I'm not having that and sound like this gross man over here. No. Why don't you be like, my wife is amazing because she has worked her butt off on self improvement,
Okay.
and she's also in this.
Okay, that's great.
And she's
I'm happy for you.
yeah.
No, but I'll say like back in the days, we used to fight a lot. And like we were just saying this in the car as we were driving home earlier.
That was a deep discussion.
How like like things were like bad. It got to a point we went to like a friend's wedding and it's just like they're getting married. We don't know if we're even going to make it to that at that point. Like it's just
and we had traveled. We had traveled for it. It was like out of state, and it was like. So we're in a hotel room, and it was just not.
Yeah.
It was not a good time. It was. Yeah.
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 And it's like, we've come far, and you've come far, and everything.
Oh,
and it's like
lots of work. Lots of work.
It's with anything. As we were talking about earlier. It's like, it's just hoping that we continue to progress and get better. So I'll say it's possible to not yell as much in a fight ever.
Ever's extreme. Everybody has their breaking point, and everybody is at different points on any given day, or has outside stresses could play a role. Your work, your family. I don't know, like your period. All this stuff. Everything can play a role, and so like ever is really extreme. I feel like that's putting way too much stress on you and your relationship.
So you don't want to fight ever.
Like just shoot for being the best you guys can be, and if it happens every now and then, try and. It sounds like she kind of has to get to the point where I've been through of kind of healing and like self-development and kind of stuff, because of how much she shuts down and how much she can't handle it. I think if you can get to the point where you realize that this person is a different person than your parents, and that you guys are handling things different, and that there's progress to be made here, and you guys can, it's totally different. Like it's a lot to work on, but you can get past it, and you can kind of see it for two different completely like relationships and situations. And I think that would help, because then instead of shutting down, she can better voice like her opinions and like, make it more of a discussion, rather than having someone who's going to yell and then she can't be like, hey, let's not, because then you risk being with someone who like can take advantage of that. If you're the kind that like shuts down and like, is belittled and stuff, I mean, that's a whole other thing. That's toxic, and you don't want that. But still, like, still, you want a voice. You don't want to just like be walked over either.
What I've found that works for us, and I'm sure it works for other people, it's like after we get out of this like you hate me, I hate you type of vibe and all that stuff, being able to like sit down like on the couch or something and just like being able to talk through it. And at least normally our conversations talking through it don't get yelly, unless I feel like you're not listening to me. Then I feel like I have to raise my voice a little bit.
Yes, because statistically, raising your voice makes people listen more.
Yo, I'm going to fight you off air.
Okay. He said it here, folks. He's going to yell.
Oh, God. But that's what I feel like. I like those conversations like after you like maybe like the next day or something like that, where like
Yeah.
it's like after dinner or something like that, and we can sit back and talk about this.
Yeah.
And kind of like go through what role we played in this fight, because I'll say this until the day I die. There's a lot of things to not care about in this world, and probably what we're fighting about does not matter. No offense to you, there has probably not been an important fight that we have had during our time in our relationship yet.
I mean, no, like the fights are dumb, but I wouldn't say they're all unproductive.
But there's better ways to make it happen instead of fighting.
Totally. But I would say the things that were happening or whatever, like, they had to happen kind of thing, or be talked about or whatever.
But what I'm hoping is that the fights, what I feel like everyone should be hoping for is for the fights to not happen as much, and hoping to fuel more conversations of like,
right,
I don't like that you do this, and kind of seeing where that goes. Because depending on what you're saying you don't like, it could go either which way.
Someone I know who she claims she doesn't argue with her husband, and like they don't fight at all and whatever.
Amen, I want to get there.
She basically says, she's like, no, they're like, I mean, she's like, I won't say, we don't have like heated discussions, or like it's like a, something, but it's more, she always goes with the approach of kindness.
Yeah.
So like, what are you looking to change, and what makes more sense to you, and how do we go about that? Because one, it's the kindness route, and two, it's the whole tackling the problem together thing. It's the more you against the problem rather than you against each other. That's a big one, and that's a really difficult one to grasp, especially if you come from toxicity. It's very confusing. You don't get it. Like, it doesn't make sense when you're first like figuring this out, and so you fight it. You fight it even more because it doesn't feel natural. But you get to this point where it makes a lot of sense, because whatever the issue is at hand usually isn't enough to tear you guys apart. So it's like, why let it? Like, why? It's more of like, no, let's shift this. Like, I don't know, say your work schedule's changed, and then chores changed, or whatever. And it's like, instead of it being like, because you didn't wash the dishes, you're a terrible person, and like all this stuff, it's like, all right, so you work second shift now. How about you wash the dishes in the morning before you go to work, instead of how you used to do them after work? Like, it's just, like...
Yeah, but it's
not that easy. I mean, I get it, but...
Yeah, because it's like, you have to talk to the person,
take strategy.
See what the other person is feeling, what they want to do. Because even though you say, oh, can you do this instead?
No, but I'm
you
saying
have to make sure
that's...
they're okay with it.
Right. But I'm saying that's a way to go about it, of a you guys against the problem rather than the problem becoming you guys.
I'll say we're still working on that, because you associate a lot of things to be like, he's the problem. And I'm like,
I've gotten a lot better.
I'll give you that.
Sir.
I'm just trying to get us to like, where it's like,
throwing me under the bus here.
This is the problem. Okay, is there a way to handle it? If there's a way, is there something that we both can agree on that is reasonable given the problem that's at hand? It's like, I want to make sure we get like a 99 out of 100 success rate as far as handling the problem.
I mean, okay, we're human. Even if we did like 90% out of 100, that's not bad.
We're still working on that, but we'll get there.
We're really not that bad. What are you talking about?
With optimism.
But that's the optimism. I'm saying we're really not that bad.
I feel like we're cool, like 70. What? That's better than 30, 40?
I would say more like 80, but okay.
Okay. It's your opinion. I can't say you're wrong. Like,
it's
okay.
Like, okay. All right,
that's just my thoughts on it. Yeah. I would say yelling is not possible to like never do it.
Yeah, that's don't put that stress on you.
Yeah.
That it's because, trust me, if you do that, the one time you yell, even if it's like you're 3 years into a relationship and this is the first time yelling has happened, then you're gonna implode, because you're gonna be like, I said never, and it was supposed to never be, and now our whole world is collapsing and it's a problem. Like, that's not fair. Even if you're like on a really good streak, like, don't do that to yourself. Perfection is not real. So.
Oh, amen to that, sis.
Yeah, bruh.
I think that's it. I think that's all we got. A lot of gems and keys in this
Keys? What does that mean?
Khaled. I got the keys. I got the keys.
Okay, that's a you thing.
No, I listen to rap music.
Right,
thing.
so I don't understand that, but okay.
Okay, I'm going to fight you times 2. All right.
He's going to yell times 2.
All right, guys. So
I'm back down to 50%.
I totally want to know everyone's opinions on anything and everything we've talked about. Oh, wait, hold up. Go to the checkout. I think we have actually a voice message from Angelica from
Hold on.
Oh, hold on. You're going to pull us up. Yeah. Before we get out of here, a little from Angelica from a little bit of everything. We have a voice message from her.
How do I do this?
Oh my God. That's why you should just
I
give me your phone. I completely forgot. So we're going to play this on air for you guys as soon as my phone lets me do this. Oh, here we go. So, real quick, shout out to Angelica.
She's a real one.
We're going to play her audio clip real quick here.
Hey, it's Angelica from A Little Bit of Everything with Me podcast. And what up? Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. You guys made it to the 1 year. Holy crap. Welcome to the 1 year club. What up? You guys make such amazing content, and thank you so much. And you guys know I'm a huge fan, so thank you for all that you do and making me laugh and giving me the what up, because that was like my highlight of your 1 year. You brought back the what up, happy Tuesday, happy Friday, whatever it is. But anyways, guys, thank you so much, and happy anniversary, and enjoy it. I cannot wait to what this year will bring you, and many blessings to you and the podcast.
I love it. I love
you.
the happy anniversary like the Tuesday. Yeah. I love it.
Thanks, Angelica.
Man, you're not just a fan, you're a stan. You're a Page and the Simpsons stan.
Okay, dog. Again, in our 2 worlds, those are two different things.
It means like a mega fan, like a.
Okay, stan in my world means you're a copycat.
No,
Again,
that's not okay. Well, let me tell you, in the pop culture world, which is like most people, it doesn't mean that, because literally I'll see it on Twitter. Like 13-year-olds will say stan. That's the thing nowadays.
Dog, Eminem made stan.
Well, those 13-year-olds do not know that.
Oh,
Wait. There was what was it? Something came out 22 years ago. I can't remember. It was some song.
Oh my God.
The Britney Spears song. So on TikTok, it's going around the "Hit Me Baby One More Time" sound. People are using it in different ways.
Someone?
What?
They punch someone?
No.
Hit me, baby.
No. And this one person, she made herself into a Britney lookalike with like the wig and the makeup and the suit and everything from the music video. And like in the comments, it's like people are like, imagine, first of all, the TikTok users are like half the age of when this came out. And also imagine them just not getting the reference at all and not understanding this was like the music video and stuff. And I feel old.
Okay.
So.
That's great. I'm glad you took us through memory lane that only some of us remember.
What? I think most of the people who listen, I don't think we would have a lot of 13-year-olds listening.
Okay. Well, I just want to say
thanks, Angelica.
Yeah, thanks, Angelica. Shout out to you. Check out her podcast if you haven't. A Little Bit of Everything with Angelica. We plan on being on her podcast.
Weeks.
Yeah, in a few weeks. I'm not sure when she plans on putting the episode out, but we are looking forward to it, and we're hoping to at some point get her on our podcast. That would be really dope. Have her answer a few topics and stuff like that. But yeah, with that being said, if you have any questions on any topics, you want to give your viewpoint, you want to share your opinion, anything, dog, we got voice messages in the link below. You can send us it through Anchor. We'll play it live on the podcast, or you can shoot us, an email, PagingTheSimpsons@gmail.com, also in the description, and we'll read it live on the air. Man, it's been a really good episode.
Yep.
All right, guys. With that being said, I'm Shadell, host of Paging the Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely wife,
Lauren.
and I did not mess that outro out.
Yeah, good job.
All right, guys. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Peace out.